Hey family, welcome in to Divine Golden Masters channel. You are here today with Divine. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I hope you've been doing well. I truly miss you guys. I know I've been gone for a little minute, but I'm back. Okay, so I'm gonna be back. I took a little hiatus and I'm gonna be doing some new exciting things for the channel. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video because it's so vital and it's very important right now, okay? Also, make sure you guys check out the description box down below. Go follow my other channels, my reading channel. You need to book a personal reading, text that number down there, okay? Now first and foremost, y'all, I did take notes because all these energies that we got going on, this Mercury retrograde, this full moon eclipse, this Pluto retrograde, all of these things, my memory is not here and I'm thinking about a lot of different things. So we got notes, okay? So the first thing I want you to ask yourself, you're the orchestrator of your own life. What are you orchestrating? You are the orchestrator of your own life. So tell me what you're orchestrating. Right? A more simple way to say that, what story are you telling yourself? What story are you telling yourself, and what role are you playing in that story? Okay, so um sometimes we may go through life and we feel like a victim, or especially something I'm gonna talk about in another video very soon. I'm gonna talk about transmutation and how to transmute energy when it is trying to come against your story. Okay, but first and foremost, if you've never asked yourself this question, if you never took the time to analyze your thoughts, to review yourself, okay? We spend a lot of time outward reviewing others, how other people show up in our life. Who is this person to me? How do they treat me? What are they doing for me? But it is not so often that we ask ourselves, who am I showing up in this reality as? In my reality, because we're all in our own reality. Because my perspective of life may be very different than yours, but we may be in the same exact house, in the same exact environment, but you may have a completely different perspective. So everybody's reality is different. What is yours? Okay, what is the story that you're telling yourself? I want you guys to try this exercise, to take time today or whenever you feel free, or if you feel led to, if you even feel led to do this, take time and analyze yourself. Do some critical thinking. Y'all know I talked about that. I'm gonna be well, I'm gonna say that for later. But critical thinking is like the common sense now, right? Because everybody's not critically thinking. People are just reacting out of emotion. And y'all know what I say about emotions, y'all. They're not real. Okay. They're not real. You have to alchemize that. You have to be able to transmute that. Okay. So we're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna go a little bit deep on this topic. It's gonna be a few different concepts. And I want you guys to know that only you can be toxic in your life. Okay? Only you can be toxic in your life. And when you notice that you're affected by someone. So say if you're a lot of us deal with childhood trauma, right? And we may be healing from our parents or our siblings or other family members. If we keep telling ourselves the same story, then we're bound to keep reliving that same narrative. Okay? We're going to keep living that same role, right? If we keep telling ourselves the same narrative, we're going to keep living that same role. We're going to be that same person that we're talking about we don't want to be, or We don't want to be like that, or however, whatever you're saying, or you're ever, however you may still be bringing this up. You want to release those things, okay? You want to let go of blaming anybody else outside yourself, okay? Only you can be toxic in your life. Who validates you owns you, okay? Who validates you owns you. If you're living for yourself, then nobody can really make you emotionally react. Nobody can make you do anything, right? Everything is free will. So I want y'all to ask yourself, what is the story that you're telling yourself? Okay. What's the story that you're telling yourself? Uh-oh. Now I almost dropped my notepad. Okay. How y'all felt with the 5-5 portal? Let me know that in the comments. How was the energy? How was y'all feeling? How y'all still feeling? I know it's intense and it's complex, but like, just like in this moment, what is the story that you're telling yourself? I know that I was feeling heavy energies and I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do or that I had planned, because it's been pulling on my sleep. But I told myself instead, wow, this energy is so powerful. I'm just going to think with my mind and just manifest with my mind. I have the energy to get up and I'm just going to manifest my, you know? You have to be able to do that, okay? um you want to ask yourself what motivates you, okay? What motivates you? What drives you? What is motivating your story? What is driving your story? Is it you being a victim? Is it you are also too, like, sometimes too we could be living for others. So um are you living for your kids and not living for yourself? All right. And you'll notice that a lot of people, just like when people have kids, they get more serious or they take life a little bit more serious because it's more of a accountability. And you'll notice that people that may have kids or may have men with like men that's taking care of women and things like that, they may hold more of a accountability because naturally we're taught to look outside of ourselves, right? Naturally we're taught to look outside of ourselves when everything that we need is within us. Naturally, we will do more for others because that's how most of the time we're raised, especially women. Okay, this is especially for my women because we have to get into that dark feminine energy to be able to balance the energy. Okay, so look at that. What is your story that you're telling yourself? And I want you to question everything within that story. Question everything. Why do you think you're not good enough? Why do you think you can't manifest this? Why do you think that you're not attractive enough? Why do you think any of these things? Everything can be manifested. So that is why you have to validate yourself, right? You have to rewire your entire being to who you actually want to be and remind yourself of it as much as possible. And not just verbally, we're not just going to verbally remind ourselves. Definitely we are, but not just limited to. Okay? You want to set your environment up. You want to, if I was this person that I want to be, what would I be doing? And do that, right? Once you decide on who is it that I want to be, look deeper than just good and bad, black and white, up and down. It's deeper than that. Things are way more deeper, okay? Things are way more deeper than that. And you really have to understand how much power you give away when when you say things like, "Oh, I'm just this person did this to me, so I'm just they did this and so I'm not successful, or this one sent magic my way, so I just my road's been crossed up, or my parents never loved me, so I don't know how to love." All those things can be reversed in seconds. You don't know how to love. I'm learning how to love in a more healthier way. I'm way further than I was, and I'm giving myself that love that I so need, that I should have when I was younger. You want to flip the narrative, okay? So when you're rewiring your story, the first question to ask yourself is, who is it that I really want to be? Like, who is it that I want to show up in this world as? I like to look at life like a game, literally. Okay, so say if you're playing a game, okay, and I don't play games, but just look at it as a game. And if life was a game, you literally not about to sit there and let this one do this, and oh, now your energy is affected because this person did this, and oh, you grew up like this, and you as a child you may got abused, and you still living your life feeling abused. Like, you wouldn't do that if it was a game. You would be doing everything that you could in your power, possibly, to manifest a win, to manifest the story that you would like to manifest into your life, manifest into your reality. And it's very important that you know you can. I always told you this since day one. You can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. You can manifest whatever life that you want. You got to make it make sense, right? But you can manifest whatever life that you want. Understand that the all is mine. So if you're not satisfied with your circumstances, the first step needs to be taking full accountability. Take full accountability. Nobody walked in your body and possessed you for all the years that you've been alive and say, you know what? I'm gonna control them. I'm gonna make it so they can't shake my energy. I'm gonna make it so their whole life be messed up. They don't get out of bed this week or today. They don't go nowhere. They don't ever get out the house. No, everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. When you can take that accountability of, okay, everything in my life I'm responsible for, and that's okay, because even when you think about when you first learn how to ride a bike, you make a mistake, you learn, you make a mistake. You don't beat yourself up for falling off the bike. You're learning. So as you rewire your story today, you rewire that past as well. Those were just lessons. Make sure that those things were lessons, so that if they were lessons, that means you learn from them. But if it's just what happened to you, then you're still that person. What is the story that you're telling yourself? And what role is it that you're playing in that story? Okay? Now, when it comes to, like I was saying, when you can manifest anything that you want, this is your reality. We're all living in our own realities. You talk about something, you see it pop up on an algorithm. You start to feel a type of way, you see a vibration shift, whether around you, on your phone, however. We know. We know very well with this thing we call technology that this energy thing is real. Especially now in this day and age and time. Look into that. The all is mine. The Hermetic principle. Okay, look into that. The all is mine. If you grasp the all is mine, and even to I forget what movie it is, but it's one of those Marvel movies, I think, and it's about the guy on the multiple dimensions, and it was Spider-Man in one of them, and it was like four different Spider-Mans or something, because they were in another dimension, and all the Spider-Mans existed from past, future, this time, that time, that time, that time, and that's how you have to look at yourself, as in, okay, I accept that part of me, I accept that part of me, I accept this, I accept this. I take accountability for myself right here. I'm taking responsibility right here. I should have did this right here. It's okay. I learned my lesson. And especially too, I wasn't taught well. Nobody taught me, or I was a kid. I wasn't aware. But this is who I'm gonna be today. But I'm gonna show up today as this god or this goddess. I'm gonna show up today and I'm gonna create my story. I'm going to show up today and I'm going to be who I always wanted to be my entire life, because nothing's holding me back. Because if the all is mine, everything is energy. If the past exists, so does the future, right? So that means that if I close my eyes and I create who I want to be after I done wrote it down, visualize, close my eyes, visualize, it has to appear. Some of y'all may be like, oh, that doesn't work. Da, da, da. It doesn't work because you don't want you don't. Of course, it's not. Listen to you. Listen to you, right? Listen to you. Do you have a defeatist mindset? Do you have a negative thing for everything? Pay attention to who you are. What role are you playing? What role are you playing? Because when you identify what role you're playing, and then you identify what role you want to play, now it's just a step-by-step process of manifestation to get you where you need to go. Now, when it comes to this, don't get carried away with the power of your ability, but stay focused on what you're creating. Manifest your reality of everyday life first that fits your life. Start from scratch and build, okay? So especially too, if you're somebody who doesn't do a lot of visualization and it's hard for you to close your eyes and see anything, start slow. So say if you need a place to stay or you need a car or something like that, start with that one thing, or start with um you could definitely do you driving in the car, but if that's too hard, you could do you at the dealership, and however you want it to go. Da da da. Then you go ahead and do the house, and you go for that, and then after that you may be manifesting a love, or you may like, but don't get carried away with the power, as in, just don't get carried away. Y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Make it realistic to your reality so that you can actually believe it, so that can actually happen. Because you have to believe it, right? That's the key. That's the juice. That's the sauce. The sauce is, the gag is that you have to actually believe the manifestation. If it's something that you want that you haven't manifested, it's because you actually don't believe that you're worthy of it. You actually don't believe that you can attain it. Because if you believed it, and especially for things that are like, you know what I'm saying, like car, how, like things that you know you need, and you don't have it, and you're constantly struggling. It's no reason. It's no reason for you to be constantly struggling, but you are spiritual or a manifestor or these things. Why are you struggling? You don't believe in your abundance. So then there goes that self-worth, that validation is something that feels empty, right? So before you can truly believe in yourself and be able to bring these manifestations into fruition, to truly believe in yourself, you must validate yourself. And what is validating yourself? Validating yourself is a part of self-love. Um, you may have never felt recognized in your life, or no one has never been proud of you. Okay. And those type of energies and those type of stories, me myself, I grew up in the same type of thing, and especially being that black sheep, always having to, but I always knew, like, within me, like, I'm different. I'm not setting for less. Like, I know what I want. And even my big desires, I'm still working my way. I'm still building myself. I'm not all the way there yet, you know? But you have to, the key is to be able to give yourself that self love, that validation. Are you nurturing yourself? Taking baths, taking a shower, looking at your skin, doing your skincare. However you like to get, you're going to do your makeup, or you want to get a haircut, or want to get your hair done, or you want to do, like, you have to make yourself a priority and validate yourself so that you can attract the things that you desire. If you having trouble attracting it, it's because you don't feel you're worthy. But if you validating yourself and you giving yourself self-worth and you're giving yourself love, you don't need validation from nowhere else. You got validation, so therefore you be able to manifest. Okay? If I'm making sense. All right. When you don't seek power, you're more in search for just a bliss. It's not so much of material things, because you can only have so much. You can only be in one room in a house. You can only be in one car at a time. At some point, are you doing that for outside validation, or are you doing that for yourself? We have to ask ourselves, okay, like, yeah, I may want to manifest 3 Ferraris, but do I need that? Maybe just one, but like three, like, that's what I mean. Don't get carried away with the power, stuff like that. Like, so you just gonna try and manifest Chris Brown pulling up at your house and the Ferrari, and he gonna give it to you, and you just, like, stuff like that. Like, come back down to your reality where you're at. Not saying that can't happen. Anything is possible if you just believe, right? But that would be something that would take a ladder step. You wouldn't just jump into that straight into that manifestation. You may more so try to manifest being in the environment. But before you even do that, you want to manifest being an embodiment of what he might even be attracted to. And then in the environment, like, think about it as that, so you can build that ladder. Okay? Now, when you are reframing and breaking down who you are, who you want to be, what role it is that you're going to play in this world. And I definitely recommend writing it down, because it's something that you want to read to yourself every day, maybe multiple times a day, whatever resonates for you, okay? But it's something that you're reprogramming yourself. So you need to tell yourself often, I'm a goddess, I'm a god. Everything always works out for the best of my good every time. I'm always getting blessings. I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed. All these things, and you need to believe it. Okay? But what's very important is that other people's opinions doesn't matter and shouldn't affect you, because it has nothing to do with your reality. It's their reality. Good for them. Now they have a problem. And this is something I notice a lot too with my clients. Like, you cannot care about what somebody else has to say about what you're doing. If you care about somebody's opinion about you seeking for validation, and whoever that is don't love you, they don't care about you, they don't respect you, because if somebody really love you, they're not gonna try to make you anything. They're not gonna try to change you or make you be this or make you be that. They're gonna accept you for who you are. Okay? So remember that other people's opinion, you don't even hear it. It's invalid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist because in your reality, your truth exists. Just like in my reality, it may be bad to, or say in your reality, it may be bad to smoke weed, but in my reality, I love to smoke weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all perspective. It's all perspective. Like I be telling y'all all the time, like, I don't be breaking the law or nothing, but I live above the law. I'm not, but that's my perspective and that's my reality. And I don't have no issues. And I haven't had none ever since I started thinking like that. I'm above that. I live above the law. Period. And I've manifested no experiences with the police ever since. And whenever it happens, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm telling you. Because your mind is what you have to use to get yourself out of any situation. Practice the law of detachment. Okay? Practice the law of detachment. This was what I was about to say. I think I forgot to say this. When you're rewiring everything, you want to go into the different definitions of symbols, the different definitions of colors, the different definition of words. Everything has a meaning given by a god or a goddess, right? Like our government. Everyone is a god. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's creating. Everyone's a god. Everyone's a goddess. But everyone doesn't know their power. Or maybe they do, right? Or maybe they're doing it just not telling you. And they want to keep you stuck. So how about you realize your power? But yeah, like, so make your own. Make your own. Do your own thing. Maybe like even just be very specific to who you are, what you stand for. For me personally, as an example, I stand for, like I always tell y'all, helping lift the vibration of the planet. I stand for rebellion, rebelling against these programs and these systematic BS, waking people up. I stand for that's a part of my godhood, my goddessness. Like when I get deitized, that's gonna be something they talk about. I stand for beauty and the embodiment of a feminine that's balanced between her masculine and feminine energy. A woman of power. What story is it that you're telling yourself? Who are you? What role are you playing? Because when you start to change and you're reminding yourself and say, if you was me, you going through your day, you're like, I don't know if they're going to like this. You're a goddess. You're a divine feminine. Everything you do is amazing. Just if they don't like it, it's not for them. Like you have to literally, with that law of assumption, change your reality by changing the story that you tell yourself. It's that simple, but it's highly takes discipline. Takes discipline. But it's like, you know, who are you gonna be? I remember too, like a couple years ago when I was going through a lot and I was always having to help people and always having to be the one that people came to for stuff and needing, and I I found myself complaining. I'd be like, I'd rather be the one helping. I'd rather be the one in a position to. I'd rather be the one to be able to give them advice and to, you know what I'm saying? So we have to check ourselves throughout our day to make sure that the story that we telling ourselves is aligning with who and vibrating with who we are. Because once you let go of that past, you're no longer that. You're the God. You're the goddess. So make sure that story aligns with who you are because it's who you will become. Okay? Um and another thing, a lot of times people will hesitate or not do something because of fear that, oh, what if this one doesn't like it? What if that one doesn't like it? Or what if I don't get any likes? Or what if nobody comments on my, who gives a fuck? Be you unapologetically. Get out of the need to be validated, and you will be unapologetic in everything you do. Any moment that you're being hesitant or you are having anxiety, you're second guessing yourself, you're stressing, you know, we all experience it, but it's about what you do with it. Okay? Um Live for your approval and not others, okay? Now, if you have trouble trying to stop caring about what others think, ask yourself, is it beneficial? And who is it beneficial to? If you're still telling yourself a narrative from childhood and you're still looking at yourself as a victim, that could be very beneficial to the one who made you a victim because they still have some type of sense of control over you. They still have some type of sense of control is a good word. I use control. Okay? When just like the phrase he who angers you controls you, we have to get a hold of our emotions. This is why I tell y'all they're not real and things like that in the past, because they're not. They're fleeting. They're changing. One day we may feel this way about this, and next day we may feel totally different about the same thing. And do you want to be somebody who is erratic and moving off their emotions, and nobody could tell, nobody knows what to expect with you, and you may blow up or you may go off or you may cry or you may do this. Now, it's nothing wrong with experiencing those emotions, because like I told y'all, me, myself, and I had a lot of trouble with anger, and still to this day I have to take my time. But it's about that choice, making that choice. Are you going to explode, or are you going to take time to do some critical thinking? This person is saying this. They want me to react like this, but instead I'm going to react like the God or the goddess that I am, and go ahead and react how that person may react. Now, that person, that God or goddess that you are, may give them a few words, but when it comes to being so emotionally charged, it's not necessary. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. The only person that is ruling over your emotions and deserves your emotions and all that is you. It's you. When it comes to others, use critical thinking. Tell them how you like them to treat you. They can't treat you that way. Peace. Peace. I gotta go. I can't answer the phone. I can't do this. Nope, I'm not free. Because if you constantly allow someone who is a trigger or someone who is toxic to constantly knock off your frequency, you must like it. You must love it. You must like it. You must like it, because why are you still doing the same story? And like for me, for instance, it wasn't that I liked it, but it was just the fact that a lot of us are in programs. But we have to take that time to actually ask ourselves. I remember when I first watched The Law of Attraction like years ago, and I asked myself, wow, what are my thoughts? And when I actually started to listen to my thoughts, I was just like, wow, I never even realized. A lot of us don't even realize the thoughts that we have, the things that we're telling ourselves. We don't, because we're so used to doing it from a child, or we watch our parents and we just repeat it and we just do it. But take time to listen, to hear yourself, to reframe that, okay? And also to pay attention to the thoughts that you may have when others are around, because you could be tapping into their energy and hearing their thoughts, and it may not even be yours. Okay, so that's why it's important to constantly check in with that God or goddess energy that you're going to embody, so that you don't stray away from that due to these distractions. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that projections and all that is not real. All of it is real. So you're gonna feel these energies. We're everybody's feeling it. Either you go deep to sleep, or you ascend and you overcome it and you make a choice. But or you stay in limbo and you just be panicking and you just be worried and you just, but make a choice. Ascend. You want to go back to sleep? Then go ahead, go back to sleep. But I know I can't go back to sleep. It's like once you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? You just can't unknow. But some people, they dumb it down and things like that. But once you know, you know. You feel me? Okay. So also too, when you go about making your goals, don't just go for goals that, like, check in with your goals and ask what are the motivating forces. Ask yourself those things and do what makes you feel good. Okay, make sure that it's for you. It's not just something that you're doing for somebody else. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about, something that you want to do. That's another thing too. um some people may be like, well, I don't know what role I want to play. Whatever you want to be. And if you can't take the time to come up with that for yourself, or think of that for yourself, then that means that you are not giving yourself enough self-love, because you think about it enough to think about this one messing with you and this one doing this. You're looking at everybody else's role. You gotta care enough to pay attention to your role. What's my role? What am I doing? What part am I playing in this? How can I flip this script? How can I change this narrative? Okay. And it really comes to with not being so hard on yourself. I feel like too, we grow up in this society and we're so hard on ourselves, and we just ridicule ourselves, and it's just like everybody makes mistakes. You're learning. You didn't know about manifestation. Your parents didn't know about manifestation. The people that rate, like, you have to give logic. That's where the critical thinking comes in, because a lot of times, me personally, I would beat myself up for stuff I wasn't doing or didn't know, or this and that, and it's just like, but nobody ever taught you. So be grateful that you learned a lesson and now you know, right? And that's why also too, you want to make sure that you stay educated, listening to podcasts, reading books, looking at things outside of the reality that you're in, okay? Books, things like that, because you're really looking at things outside of the paradigm, right? Y'all know I talk about that paradigm blindness, okay? So you want to look outside the paradigm that you're in, because sometimes we get stuck in a paradigm where we feel like everybody's the same and everybody thinks like this and everybody does like this, and like, no, everybody's not the same. Everybody's not thinking like you. Everybody's not having the same intentions as you. That's not how life works. So you have to get yourself out of that paradigm blindness and be able to recognize when something is not for you, or something is for you and maybe nobody else is going to accept it, but it resonates with you, and have the courage to do it. Be passionate about it. and do it unapologetically. Yeah, and also too, like I was saying, when things are too complex and things seem too heavy, like right now, like if the energy for this full moon is too heavy, watch a comedy, watch a funny movie. Raise your vibration, watch a stand-up comedy or watch a movie, or go on Instagram and watch a comedian or something. Like, there are different tools and things that we can use um to change our circumstance, and we really choose not to be as resourceful because everything is a choice. So we really have to remember that. And I'm so excited to do like my relaunch of coming back to YouTube on this channel or whatever, because we're gonna really dive deep. And this is one important topic where if you can grasp this concept right here, and the video I'm gonna post very soon about transmutation, it's over with. You've mastered the game. Now you just gotta maintain. You cracked the code. Now you just have to maintain this energy that you want to embody. And that energy can always change, can always fluctuate. Because you're a God. You call the shots. You make it. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Um, Things that bother you, notice that too. Like, I used to have real bad OCD. I used to nitpick about stuff a little bit, and you gotta look at things like things that bother you, let it go. If you can't fix it or da da da, just let it go. And if you can't let it go, ask yourself, why is this still bothering me? Why am I worried about this? Am I really just uncomfortable or something? Or what is it? What's going on? And when people come against you, you should be flattered, because people are taking their energy away from their story. They taking energy away from their story to be a fan on your storyline, and to go along and read your book and have commentary and write a blog post out of their mouth. Wow, you must be doing something. You must be doing something right. Huh. Okay. Um, yeah, it's like, you the celebrity at that point, they're the fan. So it's just like, hey, they can't hate the player, they gotta hate the game. Okay? They can't be mad at you that you mastered the game. They didn't do it for themselves. And some people too, it's like you gotta think about that. Now think about stories. Like I said, what role are you playing in the story? Everybody's not gonna be like you. That's another thing that you have to be able to accept. Everybody's not gonna be like you. I was talking about this too a couple months back, but we didn't come in this world to be all alike or all spiritual or all what. No, everybody's not gonna be like you. And that's the beautiness of it, the diversity. But everybody still had their role to play. So just play your role. Play your role. And vibe out and be thankful that that's your role. Okay? And always remember that everyone's perspective, everyone's opinion, everyone's thoughts are their own, and let them worry about that. Has nothing to do with you. You don't know. No comment. Oh, okay. Somebody say something to you, try to trigger you. If you can't find the words to healthy, like build a healthy boundary in that moment, just walk away. Leave. But if you can, and you could just sit there and tap into that dark feminine energy and let them know, like, you're not going to talk to me like this. I'm not going to tolerate this treatment. I would appreciate if you would keep that to yourself, or however you want to word that. But you can, it's not speaking up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what we say, it ain't all love and light. Sometimes you gotta go ahead and get into that dark feminine and tell them, you're not gonna talk to me like that, and you're not gonna disrespect me like that. Thank you. Okay. And you'll notice too that by doing that, by speaking up, by playing an active role, because when you start to speak up for yourself, you're protecting yourself. You're protecting that inner child that may have got offended. And you're speaking up for that inner child. Now that inner child is no longer just nobody cares, da da da, nobody ever loved me. No, somebody loves that inner child. Because when you get offended by somebody or somebody's perspective or opinion bothers you, that's because it's messing with your inner child. They're triggering an inner child wound. Okay? So when you start to protect that inner child, take care of that inner child, self love, it's not gonna be nothing. It's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Next. You feel me? Like it's not even gonna be that. And then you tell, if when you're experiencing fear, you tell fear, because you're a god or a goddess, creator energy, right? You don't fear anything. Fear should fear you. Around this month. Okay? But you want to thank fear for presenting you with this opportunity to choose what you actually want to do in place of whatever you was fearful of. So, me, I used to have really bad social anxiety, and sometimes it still does come up. So I'm just really an introvert. I'm a Virgo, and I got Scorpio in my birth house, and I'm just like, I like to be with my people, my close ones, or myself. Okay, and I used to really experience social anxiety really bad, even just like on the beginning of this channel. Like even sometimes I still be feeling like that. Like that's why I don't go live because I be having social anxiety. But I be having to tell myself like they love you, they support you. What do you mean? They're gonna love this. You're giving them value. You're helping. This video is helping. Why would anybody judge you? Why would anybody feel any type of way? You're just thinking like that. That's your own insecurities. Let that go. You're good enough. And that is again feeding that inner child. And that is something that I do with my son. I remember my son told me like 2 months ago or a month ago. He said, "Mommy, you know what? I'm about to cry." He said, "Ma, you know what? I love you so much because you always listen to me. You always listen to me. Now, when we was kids, anybody was listening to nothing. You go sit your ass down. You go sit down right now, or you gonna get a whooping, or you do what I told you to do, or you gonna get. Nobody was explaining anything. And when everybody looks at me and how I raised my child, and how I raised my son, especially with him being a black man in this society, he's going to be very much aware. Okay. And for him to say he was heard, okay, me and him have the same mother placement and same we have a lot of the same placements. So um I know he will deal with some inner child wounds, okay, and I can't control his dad. That is what it is. But I can control my role, and I could control the narrative that he paints about his dad and other people, because he will understand. My son at a young age understands that, even from religion. My son understands this. He's 6, he'll be 7. Even at a young age, he understands that, like, this person, they go to church and they have religious beliefs, but then they be mean and they do this and they say this and they're very, like, he is very observant, because ever since he was, before he could talk, I was telling him, this is this, this is this, this is this. Mommy needs to do this. And we're doing this because mommy needs to do this. We're doing this because mommy has to do this and we have to do this. Or us, me and you as a family unit have to do this. When you are talking somebody through life like that, they're more conscious. They're more aware. They can self-actualize. They can critical think, because from a very young age they've been thinking. They wasn't just told to go sit down and shut up. And like for me, I was introverted as a child too. I was very introverted. I had friends when I went to school, but I was in a type of household, Christian household, so strict. Oh my god, that bird. So strict. Could never go nowhere to my house. Go outside only in the front of the house. Like, so um, and they loosened up after a while, but most of my time was spent from a young kid, like all the family be out there having dinner or doing whatever they're doing, and I'm in my room drawing, or I'm setting up bears, or I'm talking to angels and shit. Like I've been to myself a lot. So with that, dang, this video on 50 minutes, y'all, my frequency paused. But with me being to myself for since such a young age, my bad, y'all. I didn't really get a lot of social development, as in other people. How do other people move? Like that's why I feel like I do study and research people, and but you have to though. I feel like everybody needs to study, research, look things up, look at other environments. What are they doing over there in Asia? Not what they showing us on the news. Let me look at their history. What they doing in what's Egypt? The map, how they change the map? Do y'all research. Don't just take what you're told. And some things ain't even told. So hello. It's my mic, y'all. But yeah. Um, let fear know. Thank you for presenting yourself right now. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to choose another avenue and to validate myself, because I'm not fearful. That doesn't resonate with my energy. Okay? Become a student of things. This is what I was just saying. Become a student of things you need from others. Okay? Say if you are having a hard time cutting someone off because you feel like you need them. Okay? If you need them for advice, you need them for finances, you need them for love. Learn how to manifest these things on your own. Go inside thyself first. And also always ask yourself, what do I bring to the table when it comes to finances? What do I bring to the table when it comes to love? What do I bring to the table when it comes to advice? Who am I? Because we attract like, right? Stop looking outside yourself for anything and look at yourself for everything. You are the God and the goddess of your reality. Don't ever forget it. Know your strengths and expand on them. Get rid of things you don't like. Find your loophole. If it's something that you don't like about yourself, well, guess what? This is your reality. It doesn't exist anymore. You don't like that you have, and then it's so much things you can do nowadays. Like, if something bothers you so much where you can't stop talking about it, you can't get it off your mind, fix it, change it. You can't fix it or change it, let it go. Period. And remember that while working on your exit from your old life, work towards your life, your new life, and your new reality that you want to manifest. So a lot of times too, it could be like, you just turned 18 or something, or a woman that's been taken care of by a man for a very long time and going through hardships in a relationship. And now you're at this place where you need a way out, or you need to be able to be in a more untoxic environment, and this person that you need for whatever the benefit is a part of the toxicness. So now you have to create your own reality. So that's when I say, do your stepping stone ladder to your manifestations. Be smart. Don't be ruled by your emotions. Don't do things and just erratic and just being your emotions like, oh, I'm just gonna. No. Balance. Balance yourself. Take time to sit with and weigh the pros and cons of things. Critically think, logically think, especially for my women, my goddesses. Me too. Me too, y'all. You can't be impulsive, okay, with your emotions. You cannot. And it's unattractive, okay? Men or women, it's just unattractive. But don't be impulsive with your emotions, okay? Your emotions are indicators. Like I said, we're in a game. This is simulation. Look at this meat suit as this is just your robot body. Your robot body is getting mad. Your meat suit is getting angry. Why is your meat suit getting angry? That's that programming from when you was 6 and they brought back up that same thing that hurt your feelings. And now they triggering it again or something's triggering it again. You need to get over that shit. You need to wrap that up. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get out of this situation. We we love you and you okay, but we can't react right now. We gotta move smart. Like these are the kind of conversations that you gotta have. This is like I'll be telling y'all my higher self. You talking to my lower self, like, but it be so many aspects of yourself that we don't even realize are existing, and we're just utilizing them, and you know. But yeah, you guys, that is what I challenge you to do today and every day from now on. Ask yourself, what role am I playing? What story am I constantly repeating to myself? And that is something too. Our meditation is so good too, because you can get into a meditation, clear your mind, set your new intentions. You're struggling with doing it, clear your mind, take a nap, set the intention again. Take your time, be patient, but you got it. You can do it, and this will change your life forever. Okay? All right, you guys. I love you guys so much. I will see you soon in a transmutation video. If this was helpful for you, sow a seed to the channel. I will have my Cash App and PayPal in the description box. Also, too, you can just like this video, comment, send me an energetic vibration of love. And I thank you for that. I appreciate you for being here. And I will see you in my next one. Peace.